Picture this. It's 9 p.m. at night, and you have finally stopped working for the day, and you're trying to relax, but your mind's like a browser with 47 tabs open. You keep thinking about the email that you need to respond to, the project that you didn't finish, the idea that you jotted down, but you haven't developed it yet. And you might think that this is just busy brain, or maybe you're just naturally anxious. But what if I told you there's actually a psychological reason why your unfinished tasks hijack your mental space? And more importantly, what if there was a surprisingly simple way for you to give your brain permission to finally rest? Today, I want to introduce you to something called the Zeigarnik effect. And it's about to explain so much about why you feel mentally exhausted even when you haven't actually accomplished that much. I'm Diane, and I help solopreneurs to create systems that support their well-being rather than sabotage it. And the Zeigarnik effect, it's one of those hidden psychological concepts that once you understand it, you can't unsee how it's impacting your daily life. The effect was discovered back in the 20s by a Lithuanian psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik. And here's what she found. Our brains are wired to remember unfinished or interrupted tasks much more vividly than the already completed ones. Think of it like this. Your brain treats every unfinished task like an open loop. Open loops create what psychologists call cognitive tension. Your mind literally can't fully relax until those loops are closed. So that half-written blog post, that's an open loop demanding mental energy. The client project that you started and got distracted from, another open loop. The conversation you meant to have but you kept putting it off, yep, that's taking up brain space too. And here's the thing about solopreneurs. We tend to be incredibly creative and visionary, which means we're constantly starting new things, having new ideas, getting these downloads, these offer ideas. But if we don't have a system for properly closing those mental loops, then our brains become like a computer running on too many programs at once. So let me paint the picture of how this shows up, because I'll bet that you'll recognize with at least one of them. First, there's what I call bedtime brain spiral. You lay down to sleep and suddenly your mind starts cycling through everything that you didn't finish that day. The social media post you were creating, the follow-up email that you forgot to send, the course outline you started but abandoned halfway through. Second, there's creative project paralysis. You have 13 brilliant ideas in various stages of development. Some are just notes on your phone, others are half-finished documents on your computer. But instead of feeling inspired by all of this creativity, you feel overwhelmed because every single idea is an open loop demanding attention. And the third one, this one breaks my heart because I see this so often. And it's what I call success amnesia. You accomplished amazing things yesterday or even today, but your brain barely registers them because it's so busy cataloging everything that you didn't finish. So you go to bed feeling like you didn't do enough, even on your most productive days. And finally, there's decision fatigue overflow. Because your brain is using so much energy keeping track of all of these open loops, we have less mental capacity for the important decisions about our business vision and our creative direction. The Zeigarnik effect explains why you can work all day long and still feel like your brain never gets to rest. It's not that you're not productive enough. It's that you're carrying the mental weight of every unfinished thing. Now, before you go thinking that you need to finish every single little thing that you've ever started, please don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. That's not sustainable, and it's definitely not gentle. Instead, I want to introduce you to what I call conscious loop closing. This isn't about forcing yourself to complete everything. It's about giving your brain clear information about what to hold on to and what to release. Here are 3 simple ways to work with the Zeigarnik effect instead of against it. First, the parking lot practice. At the end of each work session, spend 2 minutes writing down everything that's still unfinished or in your mind. This isn't a to-do list. It's more like telling your brain, I see you, I've got you, documented, and you can stop holding on to it now. It's closing that mental loop, brain dump, get it all out. And the magic happens when you physically write it down or you type it out. Your brain interprets this as completing the loop of awareness, even if you haven't even actually completed the actual task. Second is the intentional incomplete. This sounds counterintuitive, I know, but sometimes you need to formally decide that certain projects or ideas are not going to be finished right now. That's just part of it, right? We have so many ideas that get downloaded. We just make a conscious decision that we know this isn't going to be one that we're going to be working on right now. So we just create a folder that's called, I don't know, beautiful ideas for later or projects on pause. And we just consciously move these half-finished things into this folder. So it's all out of our brain and it's on a notes app or a piece of paper that you keep in a folder or a document that you wrote, and you put it into a folder. So it's closing that loop. You've given your brain permission to stop tracking all of these projects. And third, micro completions. Look for those smallest possible versions of finishing something. Can't write the full blog post? Complete the outline. Can't launch the entire course? Finish the sales page. Can't have the whole difficult conversation? Send a text when you'll have it. The goal isn't perfection. It's giving your brain enough closure to stop using precious mental energy on background tracking, the open loops. I had a client, a brilliant business coach, and she came to me feeling completely mentally exhausted. She'd say things like, I feel like I'm working all the time, but I can never point to what I actually accomplished. When we did a brain dump session, she listed 43 different projects, ideas, tasks that were living in her head. 43. Everything from half-written Instagram captions to course ideas. We spent one session just categorizing all of these mental loops, everything that she had written down from her brain dump. Some went into the finish next week and others went into the beautiful ideas for later. And quite a few of these were, this is just a thought, not a commitment. A few days later, she told me that she slept through the night for the first time in months. Her brain finally had a rest. It had permission to rest because all those open loops had been consciously addressed. That's the power of understanding the Zeigarnik effect. It's about giving your mind the clarity it craves so your creativity can actually flow. Here's what I'd like you to understand. If you're a creative, visionary entrepreneur, your brain is going to generate ideas faster than you can execute them. That's just the way it is. And that's a gift, right? That's literally what makes you innovative. So the problem isn't that you have too many ideas. The problem is that we're treating every idea like a binding contract with our future self. What if instead you treated ideas like seeds? Some seeds are meant to be planted immediately, others are meant to be stored for the right season, and some seeds are just meant to blow in the wind and inspire someone else's garden. So when you understand the Zeigarnik effect, you can work with your brain's natural tendencies instead of fighting them. You can be prolific and creative without carrying the mental weight of every single unfinished thing. So here's what I want you to try this week. Do a gentle brain dump. Set a timer for 10 minutes and write down everything, and I mean everything that's been cycling through your mind. Projects, ideas, conversations, tasks, random thoughts. They can be for work, they can be for personal. Everything. Just get it all out. And don't judge what comes up. Just get it out of your head, onto paper, into a Google Doc. Or voice text it in your notes app if that's easier for you. Then sort all the items out into 3 categories: complete soon, park for later, release entirely. If you discover that you love this process and you want to go deeper into creating sustainable systems for your creative mind, I have a resource called the Aligned Action Matrix that helps you organize not just your tasks, but your entire approach to productivity. And it's based off the Eisenhower matrix. You'll find the link below. But honestly, just doing the brain dump might be enough to give your mind the rest that it's been craving. Your creative mind is a gift, not a burden. Those ideas that keep bubbling up, we want them to keep coming. That vision that keeps expanding, that's your soul calling you towards something beautiful. But you don't have to carry the weight of every possibility all at once. Give your brain permission to focus on what matters now and trust that the rest will be there when you're ready for it. Try that brain dump this week and notice how you feel when your mind finally gets to exhale. And share in the comments what you discovered. I read every single one. Your ideas are safe. Your creativity is infinite. And your brain deserves a rest. Stay gold, my friends.